guys! Thanks for tuning into my channel. I don't know why I'm so awkward, but sometimes that happens, you know, it's whatever. So today I have decided to finally film a video, I guess, called How to Convince Your Parents to Get You a Horse, or kind of just how to get there. I'm just gonna go through kind of what I did and just give you guys some tips and tricks. I mean, we might as well just get right into it. Number one thing I would like to say before getting more into this video is the fact that you should know that horses are a lot of time and a lot of money. And if you don't have one or the other, it's kind of hard to own a horse. When I'm in school, it's really hard because finding the time during the week on top of my studies, on top of everything else, it's really hard. So that's the number one thing I would like to say. So stage one, not two, one. Basically, you have to show that you're committed. What I did is I started first with horse camp, and then I started taking lessons, and then I started working at the barn. And I was like 15 maybe. So normally barns will take any help, whatever. So I did start volunteering. I volunteered with horse camp. I would be out there Monday to Friday helping the kids, whatever. And then I got a job at the barn, so mucking stalls, letting horses in and out, feeding them. And that was honestly such a good experience because I saw that the work and effort you have to put in to keep these horses. So that's the number one thing I would do, is to show that you are committed working at the barn. Also, a lot of barns offer if you work at the barn, you can kind of pay off your lessons, or let's say you're keeping a horse, you can kind of pay off your board, whatever, because then you're working for free, but all that money is going towards keeping the horse. So I think that is an awesome option. But if your parents aren't sold on even getting you a horse, for sure showing that you are willing to spend extra time at the barn around horses definitely shows that you guys are committed and potentially willing to own your own horse. I would just like to say that I have been riding since I was 10 years old, and I got my first horse, my only horse, when I was 17. So it took me 7 years. And I know a bunch of kids that have owned horses since they were 12 and have been showing, blah, blah, blah. And I've only started showing when I was 18. So, any time is, any person's, I guess, story is different, and mine definitely took a long time. I guess stage two, because there are other options to owning, such as co-boarding or leasing, which is kind of the more expensive side. So that's what I did next. I started co-boarding. If you don't know what that is basically paying someone to ride their horse 2 to 3 times a week. It can include a lesson, it can not, whatever. So normally I would ride 2 times, so it would be just flat stuff. And then I would have a lesson on that horse. So it's someone else owns the horse, but you pay at a discount, right? Way cheaper than owning your own horse. You get to ride more, and you get to be at the barn, and you get to have kind of your own horse to take care of and do that extra stuff. So I think that is an awesome option. At this time, I wasn't working at the barn, and I actually got a job, just a job, working at a movie theater. So that's where a lot of my money came from for horses. And yeah, so literally all my money goes to horses. So that is definitely something you can always look into, and it was definitely something that kind of brought to my parents' attention that this is something that I was really interested in, and kind of working my way up to owning my own horse. So I had a coach that wanted to do stuff. I wanted to start showing. It's always been in the back of my parents' mind, and I've always mentioned to them that I obviously want my own horse. After I've co-boarded for a couple years, whatever, I was talking to my parents that I wanted to potentially lease, and then they brought up the idea to potentially buy a horse. So when we started looking, we were looking kind of more for a lease, and buying was at like in kind of the last thing. I wanted more opportunities to ride and show and kind of move up with a horse that I could actually do stuff on, because it was really hard to find a horse to part board to do that. So this was when I was 17. So a ways down the road. My coach was really helpful, and we started looking at horses, and then my parents kind of gave me the go-ahead that we could buy a horse, which was so amazing, so exciting. Like, that's kind of like how I got into it, and I feel like you guys can take that and kind of work with that, because it's possible, blah blah blah. But on top of this, I do want to say that, as I mentioned earlier, horses are very expensive. And if your family cannot afford it, like, there's not much you can do to change that. If you can't change your circumstances, that what I'm saying is that you can work for it. Get a job if you don't have enough money, and honestly, it's pretty doable. So, and if you can't own a horse, because obviously that is the most expensive option out of them all, then do part board, do lease, do work at your barn to pay off for riding, more riding time. Like, these are always options, which is so awesome, because if you do want more time in the saddle, then you don't necessarily have to own a horse to do that. Start small and work your way up, and then maybe even if you can't get a horse in your teens or whatever, when you're older, you could have a job and then finally get your own horse. Like, it's all different for everyone. A lot of the kids who do show ponies at 12 years old do have money, their parents have money, and they can afford that. I didn't really have that, so I kind of started slow and whatever, got a job, and helped my parents pay it off, you know? Owning a horse, yes, is one of the greatest like things, obviously, as a horse lover, whatever, and that's what you want to do, but it is also a lot of time, so you have to be committed in that way. So like, if it can't happen right now, then that is okay, because there are other options. That's what I want to tell you guys. The only thing you can honestly do is show that you are dedicated and willing to like make it work, make money. I hope this helps you out, because I kind of just talked about what I did specifically to get my own horse, and I know that that is a lot of your guys' dream. Like, when I was 10 years old and just started riding, like, all I wanted was my own horse to go ride and do whatever on, you know, because it's just like, come on, this is the thing that you just want to do. There are other options. There are ways to show your parents that you're dedicated. There are ways to work for it yourself. So, like, don't ever feel that it is impossible, because there's always something. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up if it helped you at all. If you want to see more of me, then please do subscribe to my channel. Please let me know in the comments below if you did enjoy this video and if it did help you, or if you guys have any tips of your own for like owning or just like working up to getting your own horse, then put them in the comments as well, so other people can read those too, because I'm just speaking from my own experience and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. So talk me home, don't let up. I can hear your heart through the static. Don't tell. Oh, we should do a thumbnail, you know, before my camera dies. Why do I literally always make the weirdest faces for my thumbnails, and I'll be like, or should I be dabbing? I really don't think so. That's just embarrassing. I'm too awkward. Ah! Come on. So Yoshi's here now, and